Dr. Lori, and this is What's It Worth with Dr. Lori, and I'm here with Paige.
Hi,
Paige.
hello.
And we're going to settle a score with Paige's family. Are you ready? Okay, Paige, tell them the story. What's happening with these Avon bottles?
So every time we go up and visit my grandmother in New York, we clean out her hordes of things from her basement.
Okay, so so you're trying to help Grandma to move to the next phase. Is that the deal?
So she's fully aware that some of the things that we say, yes, we want that, we'll take and throw away. These was one of those things that she was like, I think they're really worth something. I think they're worth a lot of money.
So the things that you throw away, you go, okay, I'm getting rid of this.
Yeah.
And Grandma kind of knows. She really wants you to save. Is there anything that she says, I really want you to have this? Is that what these are?
Well, we got into an argument about it because I told her I don't think they're worth anything. And she's like, I think they're worth something. So I was like, I have a way to prove it.
Okay, all right. So I'm basically going to settle the score between Paige and her grandmother. All right. So why don't you think they're worth anything? Like, what do you do that you have any idea about this at all?
I don't have
like
any
everybody's an appraiser, you know? Okay.
I don't have any background in it, but they're not in the boxes.
They're not in the boxes, so you think the boxes are invaluable?
Yes. Okay. And I know something about how, like, with the Beanie Baby craze, with the Avon bottle craze, people thought that they'd be worth something. That's why they made all the different bottles. Okay. And I don't think they are.
Okay. But people did collect them, and they collected them pretty strong for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, they still have a market as well. But okay, so anyone your favorite, or you just think they're all horrible? Let's just throw them out.
I really like the birds.
Okay.
I don't like the smell of the perfume in them.
Yeah, is the odor off-putting?
Yes. The minute I opened the box, it filled up the entire room. So that's why I left the box in my trunk of my car.
So they're in your car, So she's leaving them in the car.
They were in her house, though.
Okay,
they are now in my car because
now they're in their house.
I don't want my house to smell.
You don't want your house to smell like aftershave from the 1970s.
Exactly.
Okay, I guess that's understandable. Okay. All right. So now you like the birds. What do you like about the birds?
I like that they're colorful. I like the look of them and that they're glass.
If they were empty?
If they were empty, I'd put them up on like a shelf somewhere. It's like, oh, my grandmother gave me this, but like.
Oh, so if you spill out the perfume or the aftershave, you're cool.
Yeah.
And then they become an object.
Yeah.
You think the Avon company came up with that idea in the 70s? Yeah. After it's done, you actually have something.
Yeah.
So people are feeling like you're getting a twofer, right? You're getting more than one.
That's
something out of it. Let's talk a little bit about collecting perfume or collecting cologne, aftershave, whatever it might be. Today, it is still very, very popular to collect bottles, any kind of bottles, okay? So if it's a bitters bottle, or maybe it's a remedy or cure bottle, old medicine bottles, or maybe it's a liquor bottle like a Jim Beam bottle, all different types of bottles, as well as perfume bottles. And perfume bottles, there are many different types too. Yeah. So there are those that have the stopper from in crystal from the 1940s. There are perfume bottles by Lalique, the great, of course, glass house from France, a crystal house from France, all kinds of things. So your Avon bottles are of that particular type. And you know, 100 years from now, you're going to see the Avon bottles standing up there next to the Lalique bottles. Yeah. And you're thinking, oh, but they're not they're inexpensive comparatively. Yeah. But they have, of course, a collecting community. Like your grandmother, but not you.
Yes.
Okay.
Accurate.
Today, what is happening with the collecting of perfumes that many people don't know is what they're doing is not only selling the perfume bottle itself on the secondary or resale antique market, but they're actually selling the perfume inside. So what's happening is, if you were to buy a vintage perfume bottle from an estate sale or maybe from an antique shop, you don't get the perfume inside. Yeah. You get the bottle only, and then the perfume is sold to you extra in a vial. So if there's half a bottle left, they actually can keep selling by vial. So you're making a lot of money off the old vintage perfume. The idea is, oh, I want to have the same scent on at my wedding that my grandmother wore. Okay? So kind of interesting. So you are just pour it down the sink, I can't stand it.
Yes.
Okay. Or keep these in your car, which is the worst place because of temperature and humidity changing. Paige.
Sorry.
Grandma's like, what did you do? You took my perfume bottle. How big was her collection?
I think she's got about 7 or 8, maybe.
7 or 8. So do you have all of them?
I do.
You do? Okay.
I do.
So what are the others? You like the birds because they're colorful.
There's like a bell, maybe, like a bottom of a dress. There's a car. I think there's 2 or 3 cars.
Okay.
But
so
I
cars
decided,
are usually aftershave men's.
Yeah.
So then we have here, of course, you have the showboat, basically, you know. So up the Mississippi with Mark Twain kind of thing. And then you've got some birds, some that are a little bit more conservative than others, right? So you have the birds probably of the rainforest kind of thing, and then you have a typical cardinal. Yeah. So basically what you're looking at are these. Now, you said to your grandmother, Grandma, they're not worth anything. What do you call your grandmother? Do you call her Grandma?
I do call her Grandma.
Just Grandma.
Yeah.
Plain old, not Nana, not this,
nope,
not
just
Boo,
Grandma.
not Grandma. Okay, so you said, Grandma, they're not worth anything.
Yes.
0.
Yes.
Or negative numbers.
Well, I looked it up on Google, and I was like, even new in box with the box is like $12.
Even new at the box is $12.
Oh, yeah.
And here's where Google's wrong. Right
Okay.
there is where Google's wrong. Because this one from 1978, new in the box, is worth $65.
Okay.
Now you're saying, well, I don't have the box, Dr. Lori. Okay, take off $6.
Okay.
Now you're at $59. Oh,
right.
Really? Huh. So
Okay.
that's a little bit of money. That's a gas tank, right?
Yep, it'll fill
That's
up my
maybe
car.
one leaf on a tattoo, right? Yep. Not a lot. Maybe it's, but again, so about $65 in the box. Here you're probably looking at somewhere in the high 50s for this one.
Okay.
Your birds each, value on those, $30 a piece. So
Okay.
also a little bit of money. Now,
Yeah.
what would Grandma say to that? Would she say, oh, they are worth something, but they're not worth what she expected them to be worth? Did she expect, hundreds of thousands? What did she expect?
No, I think she honestly thought that they'd just be worth something more than what I was guessing.
Then the zero,
Then
terrible,
the zero,
throw them
pour it
out.
yeah.
Okay. And there are also people, you're not one of these people, Paige. There are also people who would say, I want the scent. So sell me in the vials the actual aftershave that's vintage. And some of you don't know this, but after about 18 months to 2 years, most cologne and perfumes only have a life of about 18 months to 2 years. Then what happens is the citrus tones and the notes of the floral and that kind of thing tend to just they tend to dissipate. So they go away and you just don't have it. But basically there are people who say, I don't care, I want that aftershave smell on me from 1978. You wouldn't.
To each their own.
You're sitting there saying, okay, I might, but not me. But that's what you're looking at. So total value here, $65 and another $60. So you're at $125 for the collection. So what's it worth with Dr. Lori? $125 for the collection of 3.
I guess I have to make a phone call.
You got to make a phone call. You owe Grandma a phone call.
I do.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Paige. I
Thank you
appreciate
so much.
that. Terrific. We've been talking also about our appraisal table. This appraisal table is an Egyptian-inspired revival table from the 1920s, and it is called a demi-line table. What's a demi-line table? It's a semicircular table, and they would have this particular table, and it would have a mate, which would complete the circle as well. Notice also the way in which a demi-line or a semicircular or lunette table is one that usually has a contrasting material surface top. In this particular case, marble. Thanks for being with me, Paige, and thank you for watching What's It Worth with Dr. Lori. We'll see you next time.